Hey, aloha and welcome everybody. You can take the boy out of Hawaii, but you can't take Hawaii out of the boy, right? Aloha just rolls off the tongue. I was blessed to spend about 10 years there, and my new home became Portland, roughly about 2019, 2020. And so virtually everybody in the Portland zone is my family. And I've been blessed to be asked to join the support of this ongoing series every Wednesday. And I even have the choice of what topic I get to choose. We have uh, about 7 different areas that tend to represent stress in people's lives. And so we'll cover that in just a little bit. Most of you, uh, I know there's a few here that might not be familiar with me. I might not be familiar with you. Forgive me if that's the case. I am a certified master teacher from the Tao Academy, trained underneath Dr. Master Sha. I've been with this wisdom, this teaching for about 18 years. And part of why I really enjoy sharing this wisdom, these insights, and what we're going to cover today is because there's always room for additional growth. It's not stuck. There's no intention or agenda to take me or anybody else away from what's important or what their belief systems are. It's basically the Tao wisdom is designed to support you wherever you're at. And I really appreciated that. Because I have my own perceptions on things and I don't want to be told what to think. But I do appreciate when people have values and insights that can help me to grow. And so I hope to be able to bring some value and insights to you today to help you to grow. Um, Today's subject matter, specifically, let me get the exact title. It is Daily Empowerments for Navigating Life in These Challenging Times. I don't know what the problem is. Is the times challenging? Huh? Aren't you just dancing through life moment to moment? Isn't everything just peachy keen? Tons of money in the bank account, right? Right? Relationships are awesome, right? No? Hmm. Maybe there's a few challenging times, and I got a feeling you're not alone. This world is going through it right about now. And based on the information that's available to me, it's going to keep going through it for up to 5 or 6 years. It's kind of a scary thought when we're getting our tail kicked every time we turn the corner and wake up tomorrow, right? So today, when I paused and I said, okay, Master Shah, who I'll speak about in a little bit, taught me and taught his master teachers how to connect and receive clear messages, clear flow, if you will. And so I connected. I said, okay, what subject matter can I bring tonight that can be easy to digest, immediately applicable in somebody's life, and help them to process not only today and tomorrow, but the next decade or so with as little stress as possible and consistent positive results. And I received some wonderful information. So I'm going to share that with you. I did even make a little PowerPoint, uh, which, hopefully came out okay. So I'm not the best speller. So if you see some spelling errors, I'll be the first to tell you I'm not the best at spelling or grammar. I suck pretty much at grammar too. So I apologize in advance if you have attachments to spelling and grammar. Some people get really upset, like, I can't believe what's wrong with that person? Is he not smart? I mean, wow. Forgive me in advance if I push your buttons. Um, Behind me, some of you may or may not be aware, is what's called Tao calligraphy. It's a healing art, and I'll be referring to it multiple times today. It was created by a person named Dr. Master Sha. Now, I'm guessing most of you know who Dr. Master Sha is, but I'm going to spend just a few minutes in case you don't. Uh, he is a soul that I came across, as I said, about 18 years ago. And I was on this journey about the age of 18. I was flipping through the lady who owned the house I was a roommate at. And she had a bookshelf, and I came across a book called Treatise of White Magic. And ooh, magic, ooh, white magic. What's this? 18-year-old, right? They had no clue. And it was, PhD level stuff. So it was intriguing, but I had no clue what I was looking at. But basically, what I've come to understand about the soul is it moves us into places, people, and things in life so that we can learn that next piece of thing we're supposed to learn, whatever that might be. And in this case, that led me to a 5-year theosophical school, roughly a few years later. So I went to this theosophical school based in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it was interesting. I ended up with with a bachelor degree. I could basically become a priest if I wanted to. So, but what it really taught me was the nature of all the belief systems and how there is a significant commonality through them, a thread of love and a thread of compassion through all of them. And it taught me to have an open heart for everyone's belief system. And I find that to be very, very, very important. Later on down the road, after floundering through life and getting my tail kicked pretty much like you, I came across and decided that I was really looking forward to enhancing my soul journey. I went to Korea for 6 months and trained over there in a dojo, for lack of a better word, and learned how to get up at 3 in the morning and go to sleep at 10 at night. That was interesting for a white man from America. And that was challenging, but it opened up my energy body. I was able to actually feel energy in my body for the first time in my life. I was 38 at that time. And then a few years later, I started training under a Qigong master. You've probably all experienced Tai Chi Qigong. And it was with that Qigong master, it was my very first experience of what I would say authentic, that there was no question whatsoever that there was something on the other side, whatever that other side was. I had two experiences that were life-changing with that Qigong master. And unfortunately, she could not speak very good English, so I was not able to get food for my brain, food for my understanding comprehension. I got experiences, and I knew there was more to it than that, but that eventually led me to Master Sha, who I had experiences with him, not that dissimilar from the previous Qigong master, but he came with, albeit not perfect English, certainly enough good English to where I could understand what was going on. And his books, which are truly astounding when you stop and actually read them, his books are just like nugget after nugget after nugget of heart-opening wisdom, and wisdom that most people look their whole life for. And so that's when I realized I'd come across an authentic person. Fortunately, I had been training with people that knew a lot about awakening and spirituality and how to have a happier, healthier life. And so when I came across Dr. Master Sha's wisdom and teachings, I was prepared to absorb those higher levels of insights and wisdoms. I did train through his organization, paid many, many thousands of dollars, roughly $25,000 to $30,000 for a very high level series of educations over a period of about 5 years, much like going to college. And that gave me the label of what's called a master teacher. So here I am today to bore you for about another 50 minutes. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. So long story short, in that process, I have worked with no less than 10,000 people in those 18 years. Kind of like a psychologist, you hear everything, but you say nothing to anybody else. So I've heard just about everything you can imagine. And the guidance has always been along the lines of what I have learned through all these years. And that's what I'll be sharing with you tonight, a culmination of insights and wisdoms that have progressed over the course of time. Some of the things I'm going to share with you are directly from Dr. and Master Sha's wisdoms and teachings. And some of the things I'll share with you are very common sense. Some of the things I'll share with you are based on deep awakenings where we want to be able to change our perception and the way we look at things so that we can be more stress-free, which is the intention. Again, remind you of the name of this is Daily Empowerments for Navigating Life in These Challenging Times. So we know that we want to navigate life. We know that these are challenging times. We know that these challenging times feel a bit heavier than maybe the previous ones, or maybe not, depends on the person. And we want to be able to navigate them better and better. So what do? Typically, we go to psychologists, we go to yoga, we meditate, we have certain musics we prefer. We might do, we might have a cat or a dog that they could be our solution to life, right? It's like, oh, thank God I got this guy, I'm so stressed. We're petting our cat. Cat petting, right? So, our source creator is so beautiful, giving us these kinds of tools. And then Master Sha comes along and he gives us things like the calligraphies, and he gives us other insights. So that's the setup for what I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's go ahead and pop into my handy dandy PowerPoint that I spent an entire hour on. I want you to know I really worked hard on this. It's really hard when you have a 5-year-old, interrupting you all the time. It's like, okay, please, I have to focus. So this most likely take up the entire screen when I say from the beginning. There, you should see it right about now. Okay. Daily empowerments for navigating life in these challenging times. So, what do I want to accomplish today for you? How do I want to serve you? Create today on purpose. This is about navigating every day on purpose. On purpose. So I'm going to touch on each of these bullet points a little bit more as we go, but we're going to just go through them quickly here. Nothing outside of you can cause your stress. We tend to blame everything on something outside of us. You are the creator of your stress. That might push a few buttons. Life will not stop coming at you. It's going to keep coming. What dictates your day tomorrow and the day after and the day after, what dictates your day and accordingly your stress is how you perceive, react, and respond to the endless, and I do mean endless, stream of life experiences. Because until you're, done with this life, every day, every moment will bring you more and more different, unique experiences. What matters is your predominant intention for each day. And by purposely intending your day, you can purposely reduce your life stress and navigate these challenges far better than you might be doing right now. So let's go into a little more detail here. So nothing outside of you can cause you stress. You are the creator of your stress. What does that mean? Nothing outside of you can cause your stress. You are the creator of your stress. First of all, just reading that might push a few people's buttons. What do you mean I create my own stress? What do you mean? I mean, Trump is this, and my job that, and my boss is a blah, 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 and my partner, don't get me started on him, her. So we tend to be very good at pointing fingers. We tend to lack certain levels of responsibility when it comes to our own personal calm, our own personal alignment. Ultimately, through all of these years, decades of training with spiritual teachers, reading, practicing, getting my own tail kicked, learning what works and what doesn't work, sharing with people, and then doing things that did work. This is what has been the dissemination of all of that. It is when we move through the day and we become irritated about. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be the boss, could be the traffic, could be that you dropped something. Every time, and this is life, because life will keep coming. Did life come today? Did it stop just because you were exhausted? Or did it keep coming at you? Right? So life will keep coming. It has no intention to stop. And it will keep coming. Some of it's wonderful and beautiful, and I want more of that. And some of it's not so wonderful. But life will keep coming. And most of us have went through life with a series of teachings and understandings and belief systems and taught ways of reacting and responding. Those taught ways could include what we witnessed our mom or our dad being. I'm very careful with my daughter because she tends to repeat. Kids repeat what they see, right? So something irritating will happen. I'm like, ugh, under my breath. I didn't think she heard a thing, but what, Daddy? So you have to be very, very careful. So what am I grumbling about? I'm grumbling about something, an experience that came, an unexpected one probably. And my choice, your choice in anything that comes at you in that moment is what dictates your entire future, basically. Because every moment and our reaction and our response to it is a vibration. Master Sha and all the great masters have taught, and modern physics is validating it on every page of their books, that everything is vibration. You are vibration. I am vibration. Everyone and everything is vibration. We are literally an antenna, and we are putting out into the field of creation our thoughts. We are putting out our reactions. We are putting out our angst. We are putting out our anger. We are putting out our love. We are putting out our intention. We are constantly putting out an intention. The question becomes, are you conscious of it or not? Are you applying presence with your reactions, responses, with your thoughts on a daily basis? Let's move to the next slide and we'll go a little bit deeper in this. Okay. What dictates your day is how you perceive whatever's coming in front of you, react and respond to the endless stream of life experiences. That's what dictates your day. You might have started out a day being happy and everything was going good for you. And then on the way to the job or your friend's house or the church, or wherever you're on the way to, something happened because life happens, right? Life is the endless stream of experiences. How did you perceive that experience? That perception of that experience dictates your reaction to that experience, your response to that experience. And that reaction or that response is an emanation to the universe. It's an emanation to your vibration. It's very easy to say these words. It's very easy to point out something that's relatively obvious. And yet, how many days, how many decades have you went through life automatic, reacting and responding, reacting and responding? I mean, it's just like automatic. Why? Because of our perceptions. Well, what does that mean, Paul? Our perceptions are based on what we've been taught to believe. That's wrong. It's my right to be angry about it. Yes, it absolutely is your right to be angry about it, whatever it is. And maybe it is wrong based on what your perception is. And so other cultures might say it's perfectly okay, but the culture you grew up in, the programming that you grew up in through your mom, your dad, your teachers, whatever, created a perception that it was either a right or a wrong. It was either expected or unexpected. And accordingly, we have a reaction and a response. So there's no judgment. It just simply is what it is. But our job, my job, what we're trying to accomplish here today is to assist you for navigating troubling times. What moment is not a troubling time in the majority of our lives? There's always something going on that we have to handle, right? So just about every moment has the potential to be troubling depending on how we handle it. Then we have to go back to the original point. How can I perceive this differently, which will allow me to react differently, which will allow me to respond differently? I have to nip it in the bud, as they say. And it starts with unwinding your perception of what is occurring. Now, this folds into the next part. So let's go ahead and move to the next slide. What matters is your predominant intention. What does that mean, intention? Your predominant intention, your predominant um, vibration, your predominant thinking, your predominant energy. There's so many different ways you can say the same thing, but that's what actually matters. Because if you actually look back on your life, you will discover that whatever you placed your attention upon, your intention upon, whatever vibration you enhance the most, and to be honest, if you're honest with yourself, most of us enhance uh, negative thinking, fear and worry and oh my God, and what I'm going to do, and anger and reaction response, oh my God, stress, stress, stress. And a lot of it comes from, quote, outside of us. It's our stuff, but how many of you turn on the news in the morning? How many of you turn it on when you're driving to work? How many of you put yourself in harm's way, so to speak, by introducing something that is in no way, shape, or form positive, and you allow it to enter your experience. You allow it to enter your eyes, your ears, and that then triggers a perception, which then triggers a reaction and response, which then either positively affects your day or negatively affects it. So everything boils back to managing your moments. If you can become a conscious steward of managing your moments, if you can become a present, conscious witness of how you're perceiving things and how the training, the programming of your whole life wants to instantly jump into a reaction that's probably not going to serve you, or jump into a response that's probably not going to serve you, unless it is. But if you can pause long enough to train yourself to witness the automations, you're at the beginning of awakening. You're at the beginning of enlightenment. You're at the beginning of co-creating on purpose a desired reality, a desired set of experiences, one that's far less stressful, and one that has a much higher probability of creating more good stuff, as long as you start witnessing what you are doing to create not so good stuff. I started out by stating nothing outside of you creates stress. Some of you might still have one eyebrow raised on that one, scratching your head. How is that possible? Because the gun doesn't kill people, guys. It's the person behind the gun. The gun's just dormant. It just sits there. It's the person that makes a decision. It's everybody out there. You can blame them all day long. Trump this, war that, economy this. Don't get me wrong. I complain all the time. I just get better at not complaining day by day because I'm doing better at monitoring my moments. I am by nowhere even close to perfect. If I was, I wouldn't be here. I'd be an enlightened being. But the wisdom of all these decades has taught me that it whittles down to this. The more you can become a conscious co-creator of your experience, which really boils down to what? You are an antenna. You are a vessel, a vehicle. Who created you? Did you create you? No, of course not. God, source, pick a name, right? Whatever resonates with you, created you. You didn't create you, that's for sure. And who created Terry? Who created Rochelle? Who created Olga? Who created Gregory? Who created Holly? Who created the 8 billion people in the world? Who created the dogs and the cats? Who created the mountains and the rivers? Everything. I'm going to say something that sounds so simple, but it's so core. Everything is created by source. Duh. But when you really go deeper on that, you'll start to get clarity that source is in you. You are in source. You are source. Source is you. Source is everything. You're not separate from the ocean when you're in the ocean. The ocean's in you. You're in the ocean. You are source. Source is in you. Now take that another layer. Okay, I've heard that before. Let me work with that, Paul. If I am in source and source is in with me, then that literally means you are co-creating with source. And source is just love, give you whatever you want. You are an antenna that's vibrating your predominant perception, reaction, and response. And if you're not in control of that perception, that reaction, and that response, then what you're vibrating, what your antenna is putting out is stress, worry, fear, past, future, you name it. If it's not love, happiness, joy, everything works in my favor. If it's not something positive and supportive that's radiating off of you, then guess what? It's opposite. And so if you're not enjoying your days, if you're finding yourself more stressed than not, if you're finding yourself more fearful than happy, if you're finding yourself basically caught up in blaming anything and everything outside of you, then welcome to this world. This is what awakening is. It is literally realizing that you are the creator of your experience. And you do that through your predominant vibration. You're either conscious of it or you're unconscious. And probably 8.5 billion of us are unconscious of it. So if we are to be happy and healthy, if we are to navigate each day, we must pay attention to what our predominant vibration is. This is what I meant by managing your moments. You must be consistently aware. That requires you to actually watch your mind. So by purposely intending your day, which we're going to get to in a minute, then you can purposefully reduce your life stress while creating a better tomorrow. Purposely intending your day. I'm going to give you a little blueprint here in just a moment, okay? You can create your ideal tomorrow the last thing you do before you go to bed. Now I'm going to give you that blueprint. This is what I received earlier today when I checked in and I asked Heaven, okay, how can I give people something that they can take with them, they can apply right away, and they can do it every single day to make their lives easier and better? Step one is simply becoming the watcher of your mind. I've said this before, some of you might have heard it before, but it can never be repeated enough. If you were, if you just came off the assembly line and you were a computer, laptop or hard drive, doesn't matter, right? It has what? It has the chip in there, but there's no Windows on it. There's no, OS systems on it. It's just a hard drive, okay? And it has a potential memory, and it has an operating system that is capable of working, but it still needs programming. And so the computer comes off the line, and then it starts the programming. They drop in OS system, or they drop in Windows 10. Okay, so this body, this brain, the eyes, everything, it's a computer that came off the assembly line. Think of it temporarily for that so you can understand this. The programming, the Windows operating system, the OS system, came the minute you came into this experience. Your soul slipped into the body, the operating system clicked in, and mom and dad starts teaching, that's right, that's wrong. Religions, that's right, that's wrong. People that like to control things in the world, green good, black bad, right? All of that programming is the perceptions. And our whole life, that hard drive, your brain, has been programmed. Did you have any choice in that programming? When you were a 6-month, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, did you have any choice in that programming? Did you experience rape? Did you experience incest? Did you experience traumas? Did you experience things? Did you have control over that programming? All of these create perceptions. Those perceptions dictate our reactions and our responses. They remain in what's called the past. We call them the past. So yes, but that happened then, but that has no effect on me now. Well, I bear to differ based on all the research I've done, all the teachings that I've learned. Those are radiating off your antenna. We are radiating every moment of every day intention. Source, creator says, I will give you whatever your predominant vibration is. This is just manifestation 101. Okay. Source gives you your predominant vibration. Unfortunately, we perceive based on programming we didn't have any control over. We react and respond, and we're not in control of our moments. And accordingly, we're putting out a frequency and an ill-fated intention, an undesirable intention without even knowing it. First of all, because we're putting power outside of us by saying, you did that, it's your fault, it's your fault. If it wasn't for the economy, if it wasn't for my boss being a jerk and blah, 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 that's not going to help us to be happier and healthier. So step one is being responsible for what we are putting out, intentionally or unintentionally. Step two is rewriting that script. And that's what I'm going to go into now, how to do it in a very simple way. Okay. So first step is creating your ideal day. Mornings. What is your energy levels? Are they low? Are they dragging? Do you need coffee? You want to define your energy because you are the creator of your experience. Your predominant vibration, your predominant intention creates your day. So I have to pause a second here because when I wrote this out, there was one important piece that I didn't put in here. This is a script, if you will, a awareness that everyone can apply, and it starts before you go to bed. This is what you do before you go to bed. First step is becoming aware of these bullet points I'm going to cover. And before you go to bed, you intentionally create tomorrow. And you have a pattern of how you operate through each day. So you might have a morning pattern for waking up. You might have a morning pattern for feeding yourself or those other loved ones in your family. You might have a morning pattern for exercise and or driving to work. You might have a morning pattern for whatever, right? And then maybe if you do have a job, you may put on your armor to deal with the other jerks that are there or the boss, right? So you've got your protection mechanisms of navigating through that day. And then you get done with the day and you have your patterns of things you have to do. Maybe it's stop by the grocery store. Maybe it's pick up the dog from the kennel. Whatever it is, we all have our patterns. Maybe it's doing exercise. And then you have the pattern of coming home. And then you go into that nightly pattern, whatever that looks like. If you have kids, you got to deal with them. If you have a spouse, you got to deal with spouse. If it's just you and the TV, that's your patterns. But these are what's already programmed. This is your programming. Just take a look at your day. You know what your programming is more than I do. So your programming is what's dictating more of tomorrow. If you're fully happy with it, great, congratulations, nothing to change. If you find yourself stressed, fearful, worried, dragging in stuff from the past, lonely, depressed, anxious, right? Flipping off to anger, off little things, expectations never fulfilled. If you find yourself throughout the day having those kinds of experiences, guess what? Blame is placed outside of you. You're not responsible for your moments. You're operating out of perception. You are reacting. You are responding. You are not creating purposefully. Therefore, your antenna is putting out more of what you don't want. Because here's the simple wisdom of the universe. Source says, I will give you whatever you ask for. I want to pray. Okay, I'll give you more praying. I want to hope. Okay, I'll give you more hoping. Source gives you whatever you want. Now, some of us don't even stop and do that. We just hope for the best and move through each day and struggle and respond and react and okay, there's always tomorrow, right? And that's my positivity. You're still putting out all of this subconscious stuff from the programming from earlier in life. In order to rewrite it, I'm going to pull back up the screen now. You want to look at your day and rewrite your day before you go to bed. Now, what does this do? It literally sends a signal out to heaven. This is what I want my day to look like tomorrow. I want this, I want this, I want this. Now, the first couple of times probably be a little clunky and unsure and so forth. And that's okay. It does require some consistency and persistency to really get clarity on what you want your day to look like. Okay. But let's take a look now that I set that up properly. Uh, doo -doo -doo -doo. Sorry, I consistently am not choosing the right thing to show. Give me a moment. Strange. Okay, give me a moment. I have no idea where this thing just disappeared to. Having to reopen. Now, I know my personality. My perception and my reaction and response, even a year ago, would have been irritation. Uh, I would have had frustration because I look bad, not being professional and having this all done and ready to go. I would have had a sense of feeling unprofessional. And it's interesting because these kinds of ways of reacting and responding are built in, they're automatic. And as I've worked with this and become more conscious and aware, I just breathed in. I say, okay, this is what it is. How can I process through this, not take it personally, and just move forward? Okay, here we go. So now that I've explained that, creating your ideal day. So this is at nighttime. Define your preferred energy. What has your energy been like the previous days? And when I say energy, I don't mean bodily energy. Yes, that's a factor, but is your energy overall happy? Is it energetic? Is it relaxed and positive? If not, then your message to the universe, your vibration that you're going to send before you go to bed is seeing and feeling yourself tomorrow. Today's the 3rd, so you might see yourself marking off the calendar March 4 and waking up and saying, today is going to be an awesome day. And see yourself feeling energetic and happy throughout the day, talking to your coworkers with energy and happiness, positivity. Okay, feeling and seeing them communicating with you the same way. Your morning home life, your morning exercise routine, the morning hassles, whatever they are. What do you hate to do? Do you hate to make breakfast in the mornings? What is your irritations in the mornings? Are you willing to rewrite that in your envisionment so that you can create a new environment where when you're brushing your teeth, you can envision that everything is working smoothly. The ride to work, right? The drive, the commute. Do you do that? I don't know. Um, is it calm? Are you calm and patient? Are you impatient? Right? Are you one of those people that grumbles all the way to work because everyone sucks at driving? Right? Is that you? Is that your predominant vibration? What are you dishing out to the universe? Is it everybody else's fault? Are you placing blame outside of you? It's everybody else's fault. They all need to learn how to drive. I can't believe they suck this bad. Are you the kind of person that flips on the news in the morning? Okay. Or flips on when you're driving in the car and you get to hear about all the horrible things in the world because the news doesn't even know how to give positive information. So are you allowing that toxic pollution into your vibration, which then literally radiates out of you because you're always radiating to the universe what you want more of? And you're saying stress, fear, worry, Trump this, world that, money this, relationship that. If that's what's radiating out of you because you're polluting your environment, you might want to recreate it purposefully. Next slide. Daytime, jobs and coworkers. Consider the responsibilities, the deadlines, aggressiveness. Do you have the kind of job where it's aggressive, where it can be unpleasant, where you have deadlines and you have responsibilities? There's always pressure. And one of the coworkers is always saying unpleasant things about you, and the boss is a jerk and won't give you a raise. If you continue to enhance that, you are not assisting your positive co-creation. So before you go to bed at night, what might be a better envisionment? Envisioning everything going well, envision your boss giving you a raise and an upliftment in your career path, envisioning those coworkers that are not so pleasant being moved to different locations, and you be and or you're getting along with that coworker. Why wouldn't you envision that? Doesn't that feel better than the apprehension of going back there again tomorrow? What if it's a customers? What if you just hate having to deal with the customers? Wouldn't it be better for you to envision happiness with the customers, everyone being cordial and friendly and nice? You might think at the brain level, at the mind programming level, that's not possible. That's because your mind is not the boss. Your mind likes to think it's the boss. It likes to control. It likes to manipulate. It loves to drag in past. It loves to leap to the future so you can have fear and anxiety. The mind is the nemesis when it comes to conscious, purposeful, moment to moment, purposeful creation. So your job is to watch these ways that your mind has not supported you through the programming it's received, and purposely choose before you go to bed a preferred coworker experience. What about after work? How's that? What do you do when you're at the gym? Do you go to work out? Do you want to, but you haven't, and you're not sure how you're going to find time for it? What if you were to envision taking a walk at your favorite park? You go to bed that night taking a walk, and you envision that you still don't go because, after work, you got to do this, you got to do that. And pretty soon, something changes with your schedule at work. All of a sudden, you have a full extra hour because the schedule shifted. Who knows why? I know why, because you've been envisioning that walk in the park. And co-creation brings about the conditions where that will come for you. But part of this is realizing the root. The root is that we are pieces of God. We are everything is a piece of God. And I'm going to keep repeating that because the very last slide will help you to deal with things in a unique way when life keeps hitting you over the head unexpectedly, even if you're making these changes, because a lot of us will make the appropriate changes. A lot of us will actually start being conscientious, stop auto-reacting, start witnessing the mind and start going, wow, the mind really does grab into the future and pull in a fear. Wow, the mind really does like to bring worry. Wow, the mind, look, it grabbed something from 10 years ago and it dragged it into my now. It's ruining my now. When you actually start becoming awake and aware, you'll see that the mind does this from the programming. And as you do that, you'll get better and better and better. And something might happen because life happens, right? Life never stops happening. And you're making these requests, you're doing your visualization at night, you're starting to see some shifts in your day, you're being more positive, you're running to work, you're avoiding the negative news, you're starting to make some changes, and your days are starting to look better. Your co-creation is starting to represent your shifts that you've made at the announcement antenna level. And then something that you perceive as negative happens, because invariably it does, right? Might be 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 years, but invariably something unexpected happens. The roof needs to be replaced, and it's $20,000 unexpected dollars, and the list goes on. It's always, this could be small, could be big, but life will continue. The key is the perception of that event, the reaction and response to that event, because the rules didn't change. The rules are still the same. Every moment you are radiating your predominant vibration. Every moment, your intention dictates your tomorrow. So what do you do when that happens? What do you do when that, because it is a win, when that unexpected experience occurs? As a, not as I, because I'm not there, but a fully awakened being would see the big picture. And what that would look like is everyone and everything is the source. Every speck of sand, every blade of grass is God, and it's serving me. And when that person pulls into the parking space where I was waiting for, and my perception is what a jerk, and my auto reaction is, which of course radiates more stress, doesn't help me. But if I witness, okay, how this is the reframing, because life will happen. Everyone and everything is constantly serving us. There is no person that isn't serving us, even if what appears to come at us is horrible. There is no event that is not serving us. Everyone and everything is serving us. And it's so hard to accept that because we tend to react and respond from our programming. We are not taught that we are co-creators of our experience. We are not taught from birth that our predominant vibration is constantly putting out something for the source to bring back to us. If we constantly put out positivity and everyone and everything is here to serve me and help me, and money's a good one, right? Money is so hard to switch the programming on. The programming is you must do A to get B, and you have to do a lot of B before you have enough to get C. And that's the only way that money can come. But that's the big lie. It's the biggest lie. It's a controlling based lie. What's the easy solution? Simply realizing that money is just a vibration. Color is a vibration. Money is a vibration. Air is a vibration. Do you hold your breath, concerned that you're not going to have enough for tomorrow? No, of course not. Why? Because it wasn't programmed into you. But money programming says it's limited. You have to do A, B, C. That's just programming. So if you can allow yourself to envision plenty of money coming, you don't have to have an attachment to it. You don't know how it's going to happen. It's not your job. Just like the more I hope, the more I hope, the more I hope, that's what you're going to get, more hope. The more I just know money's going to come, but I don't know how, then more money comes and you don't know how. And it's kind of cool. It's literally that literal. And it's kind of hard to grasp because of our programming, our perceptions. So this might be the first time you've heard it in this way. This might be the first time you've heard it at all. This might be the 10th, 15th, or 20th time you've heard it, and it rings true for other things you've heard and learned. This conversation and this understanding of our nature and our ability to be responsible for tomorrow by watching our predominant thoughts and choosing them. Just go to bed at night, choose them. Get up in the morning, do them one more time, 10 minutes each time. 10 minutes before you go to bed, 10 minutes when you wake up, envisioning that preferred day. And just watch what happens. Just watch what you'll be floored how much better your days become. Because you're saying, this is what I want, heaven. Heaven says, oh, okay, I thought you wanted to suffer. I was giving you because that's what your predominant focus was. You kept focusing on fear. You kept focusing on the past, being lonely, so I just gave you more of what you wanted. The source is literal, gives us exactly what we want. So it's literally as simple as giving it to source the night before you go to bed, and seeing it again in the morning. And then as you move through the day, because life's going to keep happening, whether you like it or not, as you move through the day, become better at watching your mind try to take you out of center, try to react, try to respond. Just get better at it. That's all. And when it comes down to the final part where everyone and everything is serving you, that's probably the hardest one, honestly. Because how is it that that flat tire is serving me? It's going to cost me this much to replace it. I don't have that money. It's going to cost me this to get a tow. I don't, the brain goes, whoa, 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 whoa. How is this possibly serving me? What we cannot see, and what was stated very clearly, just 6 months ago, I got this, and trust me, I've heard this one no less than 1,000 times, but it finally sunk in just about 6 months ago. And the way it was said was what made it work for me. It might work for you, I don't know. And it showed, you ever see the teeter totters, right? The teeter totter, dun, dun, dun. It's got that fulcrum in the middle. And so we are on one side and we place source on the other. So we say, okay, this is what I want to create, God. And then we sit back and we have an expectation of how it's going to look, when it's going to come. Why? Because of the programming. And we become very impatient and we don't have any source of allowance. Well, the piece that I got was this. We all want to know, including me, how and when. Because damn it, I'm tired of suffering. I want it now. I want a solution and I want it now. I'm sick and tired of this suffering. And I put it out there. I've done everything that Paul said, and it's still not here. Right? Irritation. Watch the programming. So the piece that I got was moving both of them to the middle, the fulcrum point. And the insight that I received was, you are a human being. You are a vessel of source, experiencing source on behalf of source. You're a piece of source, experiencing everything that source has put into your environment, and that experience is on behalf of source. That's the middle point. That's the fulcrum point. You are a human. You are the requester. You are not the creator. And when you hold center to that, I am the requester. I am not the creator. There's no possible way I can know how my request will arrive or when my request. This is impossible for me. It's literally impossible. And when you really chew on that, it's so much easier to let go. It's so much easier to let go of the how and the when. And when you can chew on that and really let go of the how and the when via, I got no clue how. Just common sense. I'm the requester, not the creator. I got no clue how. Then you go to the last piece of the puzzle, which I've mentioned a couple of times. I'll go ahead and put them up here so you can see it. The last piece right here. Everything that is happening is serving you. Every person, every event, every experience is showing up in your now to serve your request. Your perception of that flat tire could be, oh shit, I can't believe in the mind going, yang, 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 yang. But the awakened, aware, fully awakened person says, huh, isn't that interesting? I'm at the center of this fulcrum point. I requested, source creates. I got no clue how or when. I can only assume, because of my awareness, because of my awakening, because of my central focus, that this person, event, or experience is somehow benefiting and serving me. Now, it might sound a little, really? I mean, really? What's the side effect of that kind of a reaction and response? Because again, it's perception. You can choose to be irritated, react, respond, which is not going to serve your vibration. It's not going to radiate anything positive out of you. It's not going to help your tomorrow, ever. Or you can manage your moments properly and say, I got no clue how this is serving me. I just know that source can bring whatever I request in the most expedient way possible. And I have to let go of any perceptions of how that will arrive, what it will look like, and when it will come. And when you hold that truth and allow whatever person, experience, or event that enters your vibration unexpectedly to simply be what it is, no judgment, no criticisms, no perceptions, no reactions, no responses. Easy to say, not so easy to do, takes practice. But when you can be present to it, what are you doing? You are holding a consistent preferred vibration antenna, and you're announcing to the universe, this is somehow serving me. This is somehow bringing to me exactly what I requested. And by doing that, you did not derail the manifestation. You did not send out a negative thought. You did not screw up your co-creation. And all this has been taught us in various ways. I'm not teaching anything new. I'm simply putting it in an order where you can work with it and apply it hopefully simply by giving yourself 10 minutes a night, 10 minutes in the morning, and just redefining what you want your day to look like. And this is to prove to yourself that you are co-creating your reality little by little. And when life comes, as it will, and when life hits you in the head pretty hard by some unexpected thing, hopefully not very often, but occasionally it does, you now have the toolkit to address that. And it's okay, by the way, because this happens to me. If you're a few minutes into an anger, a few minutes into an irritation, a few minutes into anything that's probably not supporting you, because that would be, you've already done it for 3 or 4 decades, maybe more. So it's kind of hard to just turn that faucet off. But every time you get a little bit better, you can turn off that predominant vibration that radiated to the universe for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, even 10 minutes, whatever, and you can say, no, I'm going to reset this one. This is serving me. I just know it is. You hold that previous vibration that you were holding, that you've been practicing at nights and in the mornings. Just bring it back into your vibration. Start radiating that back out. I don't know how it's going to serve me. Let's see how this plays out. And you'll be surprised, especially when you have that kind of vibration. That person that comes to help you then turns out to be a good connection. You've been putting up to the universe that you want a new job. This person's wife is in that same career path as you want to go into, and you had a good conversation with him sitting in the tow truck, taking your car back to the shop. And now that person has connected to the right person to get that new job that you've been requesting from God. And if you had a negative perception, whined and complained, that whole experience may not have occurred because your predominant vibration went down the wrong road. So this is why you really have to pay attention on a moment-to-moment basis to your perceptions, your reactions, your responses, and be consistent with whatever arrives moment to moment, being responsible for your vibration. And that completes what I wanted to share with you today. Okay. So I hope that that is applicable in your life. I hope that you'll be able to see a value in it. Do be patient. It's a marathon, not a race. I often say to my own students, you are reprogramming, consciously, purposely reprogramming an entire lifetime of something that you had no control over. You did not program yourself unless you're just like exceedingly special. And so it's really about witnessing. Start watching your mind. Start seeing it grab the past. Start seeing it grab the future, yanking into your now. And if that past or future grab is not supporting you, then say, yeah, no, thank you. I'm not going to enhance that vibration. No, not going there. Choose your preferred vibration that you spent time tonight and every morning enhancing. And that's what's going to start radiating out to the universe. And it's just going to give you more of what your predominant vibration is. This is manifestation 101. And the biggest problem that people have, in my observation, personally as well, is derailing our own manifestations because of apprehensions, expectations, not knowing how it's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully I covered that today. Just let it go. Be in the center. You do your part, let God do his part, and see everyone and everything as serving you. Okay. I'm happy to open up for questions. We are at the hour. I know some of you have to go, but if anybody has questions on this, they'd like a little more clarity or insights, feel free to open your line and ask. Okay, good. So now all I got to do is do that. You understand it now. One of the biggest things I've learned is that it's not as hard as we make it look. It isn't. We tend to get in our own way. When I say that, I mean our mind tends to get in our way. I manifested a couple $1,000s just 2 days ago. I said, I want $2,000. I want it by the 3rd. Right around 5 o'clock, I got 5 and 6 o'clock, got 2 phone calls. Done. How's that possible? How is that possible? There's no way Paul could have done that. This is not possible. But what did I do? I put it out there. I let go with the attachment to it. I spent the money in my head. I'm going to use this for this. I'm going to use this for that. I had the smile. I had the emotion of it already being done. All the benefits I got with it. I let it go. Happens, happens. Doesn't happen, doesn't happen. So what? And it just makes it sound so easy, right? It takes practice. You just got to continue to let go. All right. I can go on and on and on about this. But ultimately, your homework, go out and rewrite your tomorrow and be consistent with rewriting. And it's okay to change it a little bit, refine it.
Hey, Paul.
Sorry.
Paul,
Yeah. Yeah.
can I tell a little story
Yeah,
of
please.
manifestation? Okay. So this is like 20 some years ago. My ex-husband and I bought this farm, but it was with the understanding that were selling our house in California. And the guy who sold us this farm decided he really wanted it back. And so he was hoping that we weren't going to sell the house in California. And it 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 fell out of escrow. So we had a week to come up with, it was a substantial amount of money. And so we did this meditation for manifestation, and we saw ourselves walking into the office and handing the realtor the check and everything. And the time was coming, and so my husband of then started calling a lot of friends, asking for favors.
Hmm.
And of course nobody had that kind of money.
Hmm.
And the meeting was at noon on a certain day, and at 11 o'clock, Federal Express showed up, and inside it there was a check, a cashier's check, for the amount, and it said no need to pay back. He was
Holy moly.
from a friend of ours that had become a multimillionaire. We were jumping up and down. We got in the car. We showed up at the realtor's office. We handed the check, and the guy was so upset, the previous owner, that he just stormed out. But that to me was just such an incredible manifestation,
Mm.
uh, because how can that happen? you know,
Exactly. Exactly. This
And-
is, we all want a version of that. And, it comes with, the predominant desire. Really pay
right?
attention to your vibration. Thank you for sharing, Olga.
Yep.
Terry, you had something you wanted to share?
Thank you, Paul. About a year ago, maybe longer, you had a course uh, that I signed up for, and
Mhm.
it was, I believe, teaching the foundation of this. And I had so much going on that my mind was saying, I just don't have time to be listening. Well, today I'm ready. And so I'm going to draw out what I want to say, and I'm going to say it before I go to bed. I'm going to
Yeah,
watch it happening. I'm going to create the emotion around it happening tomorrow.
good. Yeah. Create your day. Every day, create your day. You can create further out too. That's okay. Perfectly okay. But just, be consistent, really, is really what it is. But yeah, that's how it works.
Well, thank you for repeating yourself.
Yeah, it's been repeated to me 1,000 times. Finally, it started to sink in, and I think a lot more people are starting to work with it now. Thanks, Terry. Okay, any other sharings before we sign off for the night? Okay. So we'll have the team send out the replay to everybody, and there is a course on my website, wellspringoflight.com. If one of the team members could drop that link into the chat. And it's a simple manifestation course. Um, it gives a few more nuts and bolts, a lot of applied Master Sha wisdom in there as well, and it's like $50. It's pretty affordable, and it's basically about 2.5 hours of video in small bite-sized pieces that you can kind of absorb and practice, and it gives you the nuggets necessary to simplify what has not been made all that simple for a long, long time. Okay. So hopefully that will assist us to be less stressed. And thank you all for taking the time to come and visit. And thank you, Holly, for placing that link in the chat. So if that is something you're interested in, you can click on that link. It'll open up a browser in your phone or on your computer, and you should be able to scroll right away. I think it's the second frame down. You'll see something about the manifestation course. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And thank you to the Portland team. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Paul.
Thank
You're
you, Paul.
welcome.
Wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.